All righty. What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? Welcome in. Welcome in. Let's go. Another day in the bull market. Gosh, does it feel good? Look, let me double check. Make sure sound looks good. Video looks good. Make sure all that stuff looks good. And we're going to keep video looks good. Audio looks good. Video looks good. Great. All right, everybody. What's up, everyone? Welcome in. Welcome in. I know. When was the last time we did two streams back to back? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. But we're going to be doing it. I know today is a little bit earlier than it was yesterday, but I just couldn't wait. I was like, I want to do a stream today. Didn't feel like waiting. I recorded a Bitcoin video, a Bitcoin, XRP, and Pepe videos today. Got that XRP video releasing in about 30 minutes. Gonna knock out this stream. And then later today, you're gonna get more. We got Sui, we got Solana. I'm probably gonna do Solana next. After this live stream ends, about an hour later, I'm gonna release a Solana vid. Got a bunch. We got a bunch coming, folks, because we're back in the bull market. Things are exciting. Things are fun, and we're going to talk about what's going on today. Okay, so today in the game plan, it's going to be very simple. I'm not going to dive too deep into the more macro perspective. We did that yesterday on stream. What I want to do today is more focus in on, what's happening on the shorter term time frames. We're going to go through basically everything that you see there. Bitcoin, Solana, Pepe, SHIB, XRP, Sui, Bonk, all of them. I'm just gonna try to run the gauntlet as fast as not as fast as I can, but as many of them as I can in here. Try to give you guys full coverage on the different cryptos that you like to see. Of course, if you guys are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I will tell you a little bit of stuff later, beginners courses and all that good stuff later. I'll talk to you about that. But outside of that, I kind of just think we should just get straight going. So let me throw a few shout outs out there, and then we're gonna get going. Shout out to you guys. Milan, how's it going? Shout out to you. Beckley Blend, new to your stuff, man. Enjoying it has really helped. I appreciate that, and I'm glad it's helped, man. Welcome, welcome. Dream Hawkeye, send it. Absolutely. Cheers. Payne, I appreciate you so much. We need Pepe to flex. Hey, Pepe's moving well. It's looking good. And of course, Sui. Sui's looking interesting. I've been seeing some stuff going around in my comment sections about a Sui outage. If you know anything about that, let me know down in the comments. I didn't have time to look into it quite yet today. So feel free to go check that out. Nala, shout out to you. Nala Adam, shout out to you. All righty. What's your thoughts? It's too late to jump into Solana. We'll go over Solana. We're going to go over everything, folks. If you are rewatching this, of course, in the future, in the deep distant future, maybe Bitcoin's at 100K or maybe it's at 80K. Welcome in. Hopefully, of course, you are able to get some still value out of this, even though it is released in the past. So let's get into it. Okay. It says there's a lag. Okay. Let's see here. Let me know if everything looks all good. If everything is not all good, I will work on that. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Are we lagging? Are we looking good? What we got? Looks okay to me. Let me know if anything's going on, but it looks okay to me. So we're going to keep going. If I'm wrong, just let me know. Stop me in the chat. I'll work on it. All right, folks, let's get into it. Let's start talking about some good old cryptocurrency, shall we? Let me get my share screen going here. Boom, bang, binga, banga, boonga, banga. All righty, let's do it, people. So let's start off with total market cap because we do have some big news, people. We do have some good news. Total market cap 1 has now broken its 1.272 Fibonacci extension zone. Now, if you don't know what the Fibonacci's are, put very simply, the Fibonacci's are a predictive indicator, a predictive tool that you can use that will allow you to guess or estimate where a crypto's price is going to go up to and where it'll run into resistance. So what you do is you'll take your Fibonacci's, for example, you'll draw it from a high down to a low. And in an instance like this, when you're moving upwards, of course, you'll draw it from a high down to a low. And this is going to plot you out a couple areas where you can expect to run into some resistance. Anything below the high is a retracement. Anything above the high is an extension. So the Fibonacci's can help you basically predict where you could see a crypto's price go up towards. Now, the reason why this is so important, okay, the reason why this is so important and what we're seeing on the daily time frames right now is that the total market cap of crypto has now done its first Fibonacci extension. And I always said rather consistently that once we do start seeing this fully extending, right, the total market cap of crypto hitting these Fib extensions, that's when we're truly going to actually start to see momentum picking up. Because what we've been seeing recently, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's been cool, but we've not really seen this crypto market as a whole, Bitcoin and the altcoins, moving in full extension, moving on a more parabolic time frame or a more parabolic range, I suppose, right? We've not been seeing that, whereas now we're getting that. And the coolest part about it is once you're able to break your 1.272 Fibonacci extension, although there is a risk that we will see the total market cap pull back now, right, and like come back down to some of these lower levels, it opens up the door to the next one. Every time you clear one Fibonacci level, the next one opens up, especially with the 1.272 and the 1.618. History has showed that over the last 10 years within crypto and over 20 years on stocks. You can check it yourself. And so because of that, what this means for the total market cap is that we have now started to open up the opportunity or open up the door for the total market cap of crypto to push up to $3.64 trillion. What that means is that we could easily see this total market cap push another 15% upwards, which is insane, guys. I mean, we're talking trillions of dollars, right? Like hundreds of billions of dollars more coming in could possibly be on the way. And again, that doesn't mean that it's going to happen immediately, right? There may be a pullback before then, and I'm starting to question when that pullback's going to come because I feel like it has to at some point, right? But over the long term, that door is now open, and I do expect to see, especially if we enter into altcoin season and things like that, I think we're going to smoke through this bad boy. Now, zooming this down a little bit more into what we are seeing from Bitcoin's perspective, we can see Bitcoin has made a full extension. So Bitcoin has now fully extended to the 1.618 Fibonacci extension, which was the second predictive level that we had. Back when we were way down here around 68 to 70K, I told you, once we can, really, really, truly surpass this 618 to 786 bucks right here, the door then opens up towards, first and foremost, 82,000, second of all, 95,000. And you can see here that Bitcoin's price broke out, cleared that Fibonacci zone, broke out of this intra-bull market consolidation area channel, and then used this as support to continue straight upwards, now hitting some of these key levels of resistance up here. Now, guys, if anything that I am saying sounds extremely complicated, one, I will try my best to explain it. I will try my best to explain what all of this means. Two, if you do want to go check it out, it is available for you down below. We did just recently release a little beginner's guide, a 30-minute educational guide on technical analysis for beginners. It is available on my Patreon. My Patreon is only $5 a month. So it's not super expensive. I'm not trying to sell you $1,000 or anything. It's $5 a month. You're going to get access to a beginner's course, which explains all this. I'll explain more of what I'll have releasing in here soon, but just trust. If you get confused, bear with me. Watch the stream. Go check out this. This guide will give you everything you need to be able to get all caught up, okay? Now, looking at this, okay, so where are we at with Bitcoin right now? Well, Bitcoin's honestly in a very, very peculiar situation. Okay, it's in a peculiar situation. And the reason that I say that is because I believe that this red box that we're in right now could very well be the most telling zone that Bitcoin's ever seen. Now, the reason that I say that is because what we're seeing from Bitcoin right now is it making the decision of what to do now. Bitcoin has now seen a full 1.618 Fibonacci extension. So remember, simply put, this was a level that we predicted Bitcoin's price to go to based on the Fibonacci's, and we've hit that level. That level is called the 1.618 level. So we've hit that level. And now that we've hit that level, Bitcoin is deciding what to do. Because guys, quite frankly, when Bitcoin and other cryptos make a move like this, what should happen is the market should pull back. What should happen is it should come back down and start working its way back down to some support. But that's not always what does happen. Sometimes what happens is the market's so bullish, so euphoric, it doesn't care, and it sends it. And I'm under the belief that where we are right now in this red zone is going to dictate whether or not we are in a point of rationale or not. If everyone was being rational, okay, if everyone was being rational, Bitcoin's price would start to pull back a little bit. It would cool down a little bit, maybe even go sideways a little bit here. We would start to see things relax. Traders would take profit around 100K. Maybe we'd pull back even as low as the low 80s, mid 80s, and things would start to kind of relax a little bit. That's what would happen in a rational situation. In an irrational situation, Bitcoin's price will go straight through the 1.272, straight through the 1.618, straight through $100,000, and push upwards towards $107,000, $108,000, $109,000. Now, this is very uncommon. It does not happen very often, but it does happen. Now, notably, one of the most important times that this has ever happened was actually back here, where what we saw from Bitcoin in 2020 and 2021 was that its price sent it off of that same Fibonacci level, straight through that 1.272, straight through that 1.618 level, which looked very similar to this, by the way. Very similar to this little melt up and breakout, straight through this level, all the way up higher, push faster and stronger, another 30% upwards before then getting the pullback. So we went to extra euphoria before then getting the pullback. And looky here, if you think these levels are just make-believe, look what happened. We flipped this resistance point, we came back down, and we turned this into support and used it to go upwards. That's not coincidence, guys. But what happened back here in 2021 towards, getting closer towards the end of this portion of the bull market, we just went through it. And so where I am with Bitcoin right now is wanting to know just how euphoric are we? just how euphoric are we? Are we going to send it through this, maybe go up towards 110 before trying to backtest similar to 2021? Or will things be rational? Will we slow down below 100K, pull back before then, and open up the door? Now, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I don't particularly care what happens. I think one way or another, the grand scheme of things is that we are going to see crypto push higher. From what I've seen this bull market, I truly do believe we will see Bitcoin hit 130K minimum. Obviously, there is the opportunity that Bitcoin can hit 200K or 250K. But if I'm going to be super honest with you guys, if we get the strategic Bitcoin reserve, that could do it. $250,000 is starting to feel to me like the $100,000 of the last cycle. If you were here in 2021, you remember when everyone was saying Bitcoin was going to go to 100K and it just didn't get close? There's a piece of me, like in my gut, that's starting to worry that with everyone thinking like 250K, like Berenstein's prediction and all these other people, that because everyone thinks it's going to go there, it's not going to go there. And it's starting to feel like, and it makes sense, right? Like that's the next step up. First 100K, then 250K. But at the same exact time, when I start thinking that, on the flip side, what I start thinking is, well, you have to consider the fact that there are things happening now that it could almost not matter what the market does, right? When you start considering the idea that the US might start buying, buying Bitcoin, and other major countries might start buying Bitcoin, trillion-dollar companies might start buying Bitcoin. If the derivatives market for Bitcoin, like options, that pops off, that might start going Bitcoin. If all of those things hit, it might just push it to 250K because that's just game theory. That's just supply and demand. And then you think about the supply shock itself. If there is a real supply shock and people can't get their hands on it, the value is going to go up anyway. So it's like there is that piece of me that believes it, that wants it to happen, that thinks it can happen. But there's that other piece of me that feels the same as I did in 2021, and I just don't know which one I'm leaning towards yet. So I don't have an answer for it. I guess I just wanted to let you guys know my general thoughts on that, okay? But overall, what I'm doing right now for Bitcoin is I'm really just sitting back, waiting and watching. Yeah, we're going to be talking about everything, guys. Bitcoin, Solana, Sui, XRP, Caspa, Render, whatever. We're going to try to go through as many as we can. So you guys stay tuned. Turn up. Like the video. Okay. So where I am with Bitcoin right now, I'm not buying. I'm by 100% chance I'm not buying right now. And the reason is not that it can't keep going up. It can surely go up. I feel like we have less time. How to explain this? The further up we're going, the more likely it's becoming that we see some type of cool down. And that cool down is going to be so important to determine, like, okay, what is the grand scheme of this? Like, are we going to just get a small little pullback, hold some support, and continue to gig ascend? Or are we going to go parabolic and get a big pullback, like a crash, and then take some time before we go? Like, whatever this is going to look like is really going to determine what the next couple months looks like, in my opinion. And so because of that, I'm just letting my bags go. I pulled a little bit of profit off the table here and there. I closed down 2% of my total Bitcoin position earlier today, I believe, or last night. My time's been all messed up. But I think I put it in the, let's see. When was that? Yeah, that was at 7 a.m., guys. That was literally only a couple hours ago. Yeah, I closed down about 2% of my entire Bitcoin position, just taking some profits off the table. Nothing wrong. I ain't bearish. I'm just taking profits, right? And I'm just leaving this alone right now. Bitcoin can continue on its merry way, and I love what I'm seeing, but I'm surely not buying because it's just, while we're below 100K at any given point, we just might get smoked right back down. And so because of that, I just want to let this play out. There's no structural clarity. It has gone straight up. Every indicator is overextended and overbought to the top side. So I'm going to just let Bitcoin relax, and then let's just see what happens. Okay, let's just see what happens. Now, going into our altcoins, what we can see is that we are still within that structure I told you about yesterday. So in yesterday's video, and I feel like that's not accurate. It's more like that. There we go. Okay, so what we can see, is that, yeah, we're going to go over Ethereum also. And Bonk, all that, guys. Trust. We're going to go over all that. So what we can see here is that Bitcoin dominance is still in this ascending channel. I've told you all a couple times, there is like a 70% chance that Bitcoin dominance breaks to the downside of this. And what it's almost starting to feel like to me is that Bitcoin itself might be coming to the end of this little like Bitcoin only pump. Because sure, the rest of the market is pumping. Like we're seeing some pumps, but this isn't really all that big, right? Like except for these ones, because these are like more micro caps. But when you look at your big ones, like you look at ETH or whatever, like 5 or 6% gains are cool and all, but obviously Bitcoin is the one moving the needle. Even on a day like today where Bitcoin dominance is going down, Bitcoin is still leading the charge. It's what everyone's looking for, searching about, talking about, etc. And so because of that, Yeah, I think we might be seeing the end of Bitcoin season pretty soon here. It makes sense, right? As we're pushing up towards $100,000. After $100,000, a lot of people are going to question what's next. Like, does 110K really matter? Does 150K even really matter? But I think the next thing after 100K is 200K or 250K in terms of like psychological levels. And so because of that, I do start to question and wonder whether or not we're getting towards the end of Bitcoin season, and Bitcoin dominance is pointing to saying, at least in the short term, it's very possibly on the way. When you look at Bitcoin dominance, which is quite simply just the total market cap that is controlled by Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin is doing better than altcoins, this goes up. When Bitcoin is doing worse than altcoins, this goes down. And what you can see is that Bitcoin is creating an ascending structure. 70 to 80% of the time, from what I've analyzed, we see this type of structure break down, meaning that we would see this go down. And in this instance, that would mean that Bitcoin would be performing worse than altcoins. And so seeing some sort of macro structure like this playing out that could point us in the lower directions of like 57 or 56%, to me, I'm starting to actually shift my attention a little bit over towards altcoins, because I'm not quite sure that Bitcoin is going to be able to break out of this. I think it's just more likely we break down. And for some reason, altcoins just start outperforming Bitcoin at some point rather soon. So it's not guaranteed yet, but I am watching it very closely, and I do think it's very important to watch this very closely, because this breakout will be super implicative of what, where we go with this and what direction this goes. I did mention over in the Patreon earlier, and again, I'll talk a little bit more about the Patreon later. It is available down there for you, $5 a month or $1 a month. But I did mention over there, I said I do plan on funneling some of the cash that I took from Bitcoin into altcoins, but not exactly sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Although I don't guarantee my trades or moves on here in the Patreon, I'll let you guys know if I decide to do something with these funds. So like in the Patreon, I don't tell them every single trade that I do. I don't like having that pressure, obviously. I want to educate people. I don't want to try to I want to teach people how to do charts and show them what I'm seeing. I don't want them to just copy my trades. I did say though, like I plan on funneling some money from Bitcoin into alts pretty soon, just because of this, really. Like, this is just pointing me in the direction that some sort of macro breakout might be on the way. I just don't know where I'm going to go with it yet. I don't know if I want to go top 10 alts. I don't know if I want to go to micros. I don't know. Honestly, quite frankly, I don't know. I need to maybe I'll have a better idea after this stream. But yeah, so Bitcoin dominance is kind of pointing in the direction that we might see a little mini altcoin season somewhat starting soon. Okay, now let's kind of dive into the alts. Let's start off with Ethereum. You know what I want to do? Actually, let's start with Total 2 first. Okay, let's start with Total 2 first. So Total 2 is the total market cap of all of the altcoins, Ethereum included. Okay, and what you can see here is that this bad boy actually just reached its I believe that's true. Let me double check. Yeah, so it just reached its second highest point, realistically, right? We had the all-time, I guess you can say third, so it doesn't really matter. But it did just reach that yearly high point that we set back in March, whenever we were in the middle of altcoin season, like a real altcoin season, where all the alts were running. We saw, obviously, what was the main alt back in March? I can't remember. It couldn't have been Pepe, was it? Am I tripping? No, it wasn't Pepe. Yeah, I mean, Pepe ran, but there was one that was it Bonk, or was that was like the end of the, yeah, it was kind of like no. I mean, yeah, it was like Bonk was like the end of it. Right. But like in that little phase where we saw Bonk and all of them really starting to pop up. And remind me, guys, what was going on with, what meme coin was really, was it Brett? Was Brett the one that was popping off back in March? That's Bonk. Is this Brett? I mean, yeah, Brett. Yeah, Brett had just really launched. Right. Shib was going crazy too. Yeah. I knew it was one of these. Yes, it was Shib. Okay, yeah, right. Yeah. So with Shib, Bonk, etc. So what I want you guys to think about, right, is the total market cap of altcoins just hit the same level that it hit back then. And I'm sure, let me know if you guys agree with me down below. What we're seeing from the altcoin market is nothing compared to how hype it was back in March. Altcoins in March were insane compared to where we are now. Yeah, obviously we've seen some gains, Pepe, Shib, whatever. They're doing okay. But it wasn't March. And we're at those same levels. And even from a back-end perspective, I'll give you guys a little alpha, right? So I own the first, second, third-ish, top three, but I'm not three, right? Biggest influencer relations agencies in crypto. What that means is when companies need marketing campaigns from YouTubers, they come to my company, like a lot of them basically, and we provide them with the YouTubers they need for sponsored content, whatever. So I know what's happening. Like I can see everything happening behind the scenes. And what we're seeing right now is like a small uptick where a bunch of companies are looking to run promotions and marketing, but it's not a lot. Like back in March, dude, we were seeing like 10 or 15 companies a day. Right now, 4 or 5, 6, which is cool. Not bad, right? But it's not what it was in March. Okay. It's not what it was. Let me know if you guys agree. Okay. Let me know if you guys agree. So the reason why that's so exciting is because we're seeing the total market cap of crypto getting towards these levels without it really being that season, right? Without it really being that altcoin season. So imagine what everything, sorry, give me 1 second. My phone keeps ringing. I have no idea why. Imagine what it could look like for altcoins whenever we do see the real season come around, when altcoin season really does come around. I mean, I'm thinking, 1.47 trillion, 1.79 trillion. Like, I think we see this move. It wouldn't shock me if the total market cap of just altcoins hits $2 trillion at some point. It would. I mean, that's not impossible. That's $750 billion from here. And I mean, what did we see last run, right? We got all the way up to about 1.72 trillion. If we look at this from a macro perspective, if we look at our macro Fibonacci's, you can see here, I mean, our 1.272 Fib extension would be at $2.5 trillion. So the altcoin market doubling from here, I think it makes a ton of sense, especially if we're already seeing the same highs that we were at during March of this year. Isn't it crazy how Total 2 came up to the very top of this Fibonacci extension zone or retracement zone before pulling back? Like, look at that perfect alignment. Altcoin season literally ended the second that the total market cap of altcoins hit the top side of this Fibonacci extension zone. And now we have this big old cup and handle pattern on altcoins that could be aiming us upwards of, 2.5 to $3 trillion. And the thing is, like, if we do see that happen, like if we see the total market cap of altcoins hit 2.5 trillion or 4 trillion, like something like that, I mean, you're looking at altcoins that are $500 billion, $600 billion, like a bunch of them. Like, we might be looking at a Solana at like 500 bill or something like that, or 400 billion. There's no reason why it couldn't. We're looking at an Ethereum between 500 billion and a trillion. We're looking at some of your other top 10s, like, in a situation like that, we're talking about a BNB that's a couple hundred billion. We're talking about possibly a Doge that's maybe, 100 billion. We're talking about Shiba Inu that's only at 14 billion, maybe pushing up towards like 80 billion, 100 billion. Like, that's what that looks like, guys. And that's what I keep telling people. Like, if we are going to get a real altcoin season, it's going to take what we're doing right now and make it look like child's play. It's going to take what we're doing right now and make it look like absolutely nothing. This is nothing compared to 2021. Who was here in 2021? Who was here let me know in the chat. Who was here in 2021 during March, April, and May? Now tell me, think about back then, Safe Moon and all those ones. Tell me if you think where we're at right now is even close to that. Not even close. Not even close. I would say maybe we're getting similar to like 2023. You remember back in 2023 when Pepe first popped off and we were in that little frame? I don't even think we're there yet, quite frankly. Like, we're not in that part yet. When we have a meme coin that comes up and like, what's going to happen, guys, is there's going to be when we start seeing meme coins that are brand new hit like 1 billion, that's when we're there. Like, that's when we're talking. We're not close. We're not close, really. I mean, there are some that have been doing well. What was it? Chill Guy? I've been seeing Chill Guy everywhere on Twitter. What is going on with that? Let me know in the chat. Maybe we're starting to load up. I don't know what happened there. I'm out the loop. Bad. But yeah, we're not there yet. So anyway, I'm sorry for the rant. I just realized I've been talking about this for like 5 minutes. Yeah, altcoin market is looking great, but we're still cooking. I still think you have time to buy alts. I know it feels bad. Like, I know we feel high, but I still do feel like there is some time. Oh, Peanut's a good example. Peanut, that's a fair point. Peanut was one that did very good. But yeah, so the altcoin market is still cooking up, in my opinion. It still feels like it's just cooking up. Like, I would be shocked if we don't fib extend 1.5 trillion, 1.79 trillion for the all-time high. Like, I'd be shocked if we don't get there eventually. Now, realistically, again, it wouldn't shock me if we see the altcoin market need to backtest some support before that. Like, if we need to see the altcoin market cool down a bit before that, it wouldn't shock me. And I kind of would rather this. There's a piece of me that hopes this market calms down a bit. I want to see Bitcoin pull back. I want to see the altcoin market pull back. And the reason being is this: I want this to be sustainable. Like, I want this market to move longer. I want us to have this until May of next year, not just until January 20th when Trump gets inaugurated. I want it to go further than that. And the only way we can do that is if this starts to cool down soon. If it doesn't start to cool down soon, we're going to end up blowing off top at some point, I think. But we'll see. Obviously, we'll see. I'll talk about Pepe in a little bit, guys. I got you. Shout out to Mac Baby with the $5 donation. I appreciate you, champ. Saying, I got into Brett this summer. I have about $70,000 worth of 400,000 plus tokens. What's your prediction at the end of the year, at the end of the bull cycle? Thanks. I will go over Brett whenever we do some individual technical analysis. Mac, if I forget, please remind me. I'll go over it and I will do it for you. Trust. Okay, so let's start it in. Let's, we know about Bitcoin. Now we talked about altcoins. Let's kind of funnel and flow into now. Okay, let's go into some individual ones. So let's first start off obviously with Ethereum. Ethereum's finally starting to give some signs of life, and I want to give you guys just a general overview of what I'm seeing. Okay, I want to give you a general overview of what I'm seeing. Now, the easiest way for me to do this is just get rid of everything. Let's just get rid of everything. Let's start from scratch. Sometimes I like to do this because it allows you guys to see the way my brain works when I'm looking at charts. Okay. Look, one thing I will also let you guys know, if you do want to trade some cryptos yourself, I am still a partner with Margex. I have an affiliate link to Margex down below. Guys, if you do sign up with that link specifically, they are going to give you up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards when you do sign up again specifically with my link. You can either use the link or you can use code Tyler, Tyler, when you do sign up. That'll be available for you down there. I do basically all of my trading over on Margex, about 70% at least. I keep tens of thousands of dollars on this exchange for a reason. It's just where I do my majority of my trading. So check that out if you want to down below. Again, I am an affiliate partners of theirs, so feel free to use that sign up link down below when you get the chance. Now, real quick, out Solana to 252 Tyler. We're finally here. Shout out to you, Giano, for the £2. I think that's a pound, but that might be a euro. I don't know. Quite frankly, I'm uneducated. But when it comes to that, guys, Giano, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. We will be talking about Solana in a second here. But let's talk about some ETH. Okay. So, what is Bonk sending? What's going on? Everybody's so pumped about Bonk. I'll look at it in a sec. So looking at ETH, okay, let me break it down. And I'm not talking about dancing as to what just happened, okay? So what we've really been paying attention to the most of the time with Ethereum has been its progress, okay? From a macro perspective, what I've been really wanting to see from Ethereum is whether or not it's capable of breaking out of this macro Fibonacci zone. If we go out, and we're going to just look at the entire bull market that we're in right now, what you need to do is you need to take your all-time high and your bear market low. And this is what we were wanting to look for, okay? What we're looking at right now is whether or not Ethereum can finally stop rotating around this 786 to 618 zone. You guys know that this is the most important point of resistance that a crypto will ever see. It's a bull market high to bear market low, 618 to 786 Fibonacci retracement zone is the most important level of resistance that it has. And what's been happening with Ethereum is that it's opened up the door in the sense that it has been able to break above it. It just can't sustain it. It just cannot hold it. It will not stay on top. Like, it will not stay on top of it. But what it seems like to me is that now, this time, it has a good base to give it a try. We, of course, saw it fail to hold some support here. What ended up happening is that it broke to the downside, came back down, reflipped these different points of resistance, right? So we had this little resistance zone right here, obviously. And then we, of course, had these points of support right here. We used that support to hold ETH's price up. ETH put in some of this bullish structure here, and we re-entered back into this macro channel in which we were in. What this looks like to me is a macro fake out. What this looks like to me is that Ethereum was in this channel right here. We had a breakout to the downside of this channel. We then re-entered back into it, and now we're going to try to break to the top side. And so for ETH, although it is great, and although I do feel as if Ethereum is in a good spot, it just has not gained the traction that it needs to in order to get like real justified euphoria from me yet. I need to see ETH's price being able to break out of this range that it's in. It got to clear 4,000. It needs to stay above 4,000. The longer it stays here, the worse that it's going to possibly get for it, because so many people are just looking at other altcoins. So many people are seeing Sol and Sui and AVAX and whatever. They're all pumping and ETH isn't. And it's kind of making them kind of get turned off by ETH. They feel like it's the old sleepy boomer that's just not doing anything. And although I am usually an advocate that these consolidation moments are good, which I still do believe it is good, if you stay here too long, it can almost become detrimental because people just forget about you. And that's the reason why we have seen the competition for ETH rising so much recently, because it's just not doing much and it has all this competition. And so because of that, from Ethereum, what I want to see is like, yes, sure, what we're doing right now is great, but I need to see ETH's price being able to break here. I want to see it be able to break that $3,800 mark, break that $4,000 mark. Because if we can do that, then yeah, maybe we're in pursuit of $7,700. That is a 1.272 fib extension. That is where I think that Ethereum's price could very possibly go to during this cycle, but we just need to get there. We just need to get there, and it's just not getting there. It's not making that move. So for ETH, realistically, I'm not getting excited until it's capable of friggin' at this point breaking an all-time high. But at least in the short term, at minimum, I need to see this bad boy being able to break this descending resistance and break that $4,000 level. Once we break 4K, I think the door is now wide open. I think that a push upwards towards 7.7 is possible, and that's a move of 70 to 100%. That's great, but Until then, I mean, things are looking boring for me, honestly, with Ethereum. And that's why, like, and that does make sense. If we do see ETH push up towards 800 billion or 7,700, that puts it roughly somewhere around 600, $700 billion in market cap. Makes a lot of sense. So I definitely think it's possible. Just got to get there. And honestly, I've just been so bored with ETH, guys. Like, let me know. Have you guys also been bored with ETH? Have you been kind of struggling to be entertained by it? And why is that? I think primarily I'm not paying Ethereum gas fees. I don't care what people say. I know they're cheaper than they were. I don't care. It's too much. Like, I don't want to pay more than like $1, honestly. But then also it's like the ecosystem is not as fun. There's not as many meme coins. Yeah, it's just not as fun and it's slower. Like, and so with all of the competition that we have, like Solana and stuff, I don't know. It's just like ETH kind of just fell off for me a little bit, honestly. And it could be a sleeping giant. It wouldn't shock me if it does have its moment to where it just absolutely pops off. But even if it does pop off, it's like, what? It's going to go up 100%? Cool. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an ETH hater. Don't get me wrong. I think I probably have like, at this point, I probably have like 8 or 9 ETH, maybe a little bit more, like 10 or 11 if you include what I'm holding on Hot Wallet. So yeah, probably like 10 or 11 ETH. So I'm not a hater of it. I just, it just, you know what I mean? So anyway, no more ETH hate, no more ETH slander. Sorry about that. Let's kind of go down the list. Okay, let's go down the list. What's next? Let's go over Solana. So looking at Sol, alrighty. What we got here. So Solana actually did something. And guys, don't trust me, we're going to go over them, guys. We're only 30 minutes in. We got a whole bunch more to go through. And look, I will take this moment before we go on to Solana to let you guys know, look, if you again do want to check out that link down below to the Patreon, as I mentioned before, it is $5 a month. What you're going to be able to get is access to that beginner's course that I was telling you about. It's a beginner's guide to technical analysis. It's about 30 minutes long. It comes with this entire guide. It also comes with a couple cheat sheets that I found online that helped me out a lot, which I included in there for you. I have 4 more of these beginners courses coming out for the $5 a month tier over fundamental analysis, leverage trading, altcoin investing, and meme coin investing. They're going to get those over the next few weeks. In addition to that, they get my thoughts and insights. Sometimes I tell them when I sell and buy cryptos, I post daily technical analysis and daily fundamental analysis, and all that's available for just $5 a month. I wanted you guys to have an affordable place. I just wanted you to have an affordable place to get great information. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to be releasing a tier. It's going to be about $17 a month or so, roughly. It's going to be an advanced tier. In there, every week, I'm going to post a little, like a 10-minute lesson going over some stuff with technical analysis, fundamental analysis, whatever. I'm also hiring coaches to come in on a weekly or bi-weekly basis to coach you guys, give workshops and stuff like that, and a couple other things. So stay tuned for that. Go check that out down below if you want, but let's get into the rest. But that should be available down there for you. Okay. Here we go. No, I'm not acting like it's nothing. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I hope it didn't come out that way. It's obviously a ton. I just mean, like, in the grand scheme of my portfolio, it's a smaller percentage just because there's so much other cool stuff out there. But I am sorry about that. I didn't mean for it to come out that way. My apologies. So looking at Solana. Okay, so Solana just did something very good. So we're gonna be zooming in a little bit on Solana because, man, did we dodge a damn bullet. Damn, did we dodge a bullet. Okay. So in yesterday's live stream, I told you all about the double head. Oh, shoot. Didn't mean to do that. There we go. So I told you about the double head and shoulders. It's ugly. It's weird. It's nasty, but I've seen it like 7 times across the last 4 or 5 years. Or no, it couldn't be 5 years. Yeah, about 4 years, 3.5 years or roughly that we're talking about, that we've been talking about Solana. So what we can see is that I told you all, look, there's a possibility we're forming a left shoulder, that we're forming a head, this little double top head, and then a right shoulder right here. I said in yesterday's stream, if Solana's price loses 230, we're probably coming back towards 212. So you need to hold on. There's just this freaking brace for impact, basically. But I told you, if we see Solana's price break above 242, it invalidates this head and shoulders, flips this into a bullish structure, and now we have some type of bullish consolidation that could push us up towards 250. And look at this shit, dude. You guys know I get vulgar when I get excited. But look what happened, right? We came up off 230. We held it. The stop losses didn't get hit. We pushed upwards. We ran into resistance right at that right shoulder, broke the right shoulder, giga sent to 250. Crazy work. That's so beautiful. What a move from Solana. In the short term, if you look at the 4-hour charts, if we do look at these Fibonacci's, check this out. Look what it's done. Price comes up off of this, runs into the 618 to 786 zone, breaks through it, hits through this little micro high, clears through that, hits that 1.272 fib extension for 254. If we pass $254 and hold above it, our next price target is 261 bucks. Dude, what a move from Solana. Invalidated the head and shoulders, looking dang on good. Now, does this mean that Solana's just going to for sure keep sending? No, not particularly. You guys do have to, keep in mind, like, Solana's literally just been going vertical recently. So at any given point, it might pull back. But the good part about it is, like, even if it pulls back here, it doesn't even really matter. It doesn't even really matter because we have so much below us. One thing I talk about all the time is people don't realize the true value of stuff like this, right? People don't realize the true value of a moment like this, where we go like up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, right? People don't recognize, they just look at that. Like, when you guys look at that, do you think like, you probably just think like, oh, this is just a go sideways moment and we broke out of it. But it's so much more than that, especially during a bull market, guys. Like, it's so much more important than that. And the reason that I say that is because this creates liquidity. So every time that a crypto does something like this, where it hits one of these, I call it chop. Like, imagine you're chopping onions, just up, down, up, down, up, down. I don't call it chop. It's called chop. But whenever it creates chop, right? One of the things that people don't recognize is that it creates liquidity. Okay. I'm going to talk about SHIB in probably like 5-10 minutes. But it creates liquidity. And the reason why that's important is because it gives us support zones and floors under us. So as Solana's price keeps going higher and higher and higher, at some point it's going to pull back. It has to, guys. It will at some point. But the good thing is, if it does, now we have all of this liquidity below us, a new liquidity zone below us that might not particularly stop its price from going down, but it's going to slow it down. And that's what's so exciting, because as its price goes and the bears start to take over, maybe the bulls get a little exhausted, right? Maybe the bulls get a little exhausted and the bears come in and they start pushing the price down. We're going to have all of these liquidity zones, all of these support levels from the bulls that people will step in at that are going to slow that pullback down a little bit. It's going to make the pullback less impactful. It's not going to be as bad as it would have been if not. It's not going to be as big. It shouldn't even be as fast. The bears are going to struggle to push Solana's price back down now because we have a liquidity zone directly below us, and it goes for this one and it goes for this one. So look at all this. Now that you understand why that liquidity is so important, check this out. Look at all this right here. Look at all this right here, guys. This means that even if Solana's price does start to come back, right, we now have so many levels for the bulls to be able to step in at. They're just going to exhaust the bears. They're just going to exhaust the bears. Let me draw this out. So we have the macro support zone right here. This is going to very likely be flipped as support because it was such a big point of resistance. And below that, of course, that's $206. Below that, we have $195. We also have the $200 psychological level. If we go down to the 4-hour charts and we draw in our liquidity zones, you can see we had some support right here, resistance there, resistance there. We had support there, support there, support there. And I think that's all the major ones. And I guess we could include that right there because that was important in that little thing there. Do you see how much support there is right here as a result of all of this liquidity? And if I go even lower, it gets even crazier, but I'm not going to go lower. So what this means is that, look, sure, Solana's price doesn't guarantee, and I mean, it doesn't guarantee that we're going to go up, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because if Solana's price wants to come back down, guys, let it pull back. Let it come back to 215. Who gives a shit, quite frankly? Because what we can do is be like, okay, we're very likely going to establish a higher low and try to continue upwards. So this is an accumulation moment. This is a great moment. So the good part is, the good thing that might happen here is Solana just keeps going up. The worst case scenario or a bad scenario here is that Solana's price pulls back down here. We get a good buying opportunity, it finds a higher low, and it tries to continue upwards. That's a good thing. Like, that's not even a bad thing. And that's why I'm so bullish on Solana, guys, right now, because it's like, what should I even be worried about? Oh, it's going to pull back. Who cares? It's a good buying opportunity before it tries to go back up. Okay, and? You know what I mean? So it's like, we can't lose right now. We can't freaking lose right now. Oh, my voice is going to start to go soon. Like, we just can't. We can't freaking lose. And you guys know, some of you, I see you in the chat, and I remember you. Dude, I bought Solana here for the first time at $150 on this channel. From there, Solana's price went down literally. You guys saw it, $9, $10, $11, whatever. The lowest that I announced on this channel that I was buying Solana was at $12. I was stressed out, but I was buying Solana at $12. I think around the time I bought like 550 Solana, around $12, between 12 and like 19 or so. I pulled my average cost from 150-ish all the way down to about $29. It's around 31 now. And so now we're seeing this bad boy up 5 or 6x off of that. And it's like, it's insane. Like, it's honestly insane. And we've been talking about this for years about eventually Solana would do this, and it's doing it. And damn, it feels good. Damn, it feels good. You guys remember when Solana had those outages last year and everybody was freaking out saying Solana's dead? How do you think they feel right now? Like, how do you think they feel right now? But I'm not gonna keep talking shit. I'm sorry, but dude, it feels good. It feels good. So Solana's bullish. It might pull back soon. I don't know, quite frankly. We're in price discovery. One thing that I do know in the shorter term time frames, right? What you can see here is as Solana's price has been pushing up, its RSI on the 4 hour is pulling downwards. And when this happens, it is a sign that momentum might be waning. Even though the price is going up, momentum is slowing down. Then you look at something like your daily Bollinger Bands. Let's just clear all this off real quick. You look at your daily Bollinger Bands. We're so pumped into the top side. At any given point, Solana might fall off a cliff. Honestly, it might at any given point fall back to like 200 or 220 or something. I'm not guaranteeing that it will, but it just might. And so where I am right now with Solana is I'm just leaving it alone as well. Just like Bitcoin, I'm just leaving it alone. I'll take a little bit of profits as we go. I'm almost completely out of Solana for my initial investment. So I think my total bag is up 6x or something like that. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I knew I needed to close down 12% of my position for me to get my entire initial investment out and only be in profit. And I've closed down like 8% of it. So I still have a little bit to go. So I might continue to pull a little bit of Solana out while we're going upwards like this, even though I do think Solana is going to end up pushing like 500, $600 at some given point. I don't know what the long term looks like. You never know what pops up. I'm also getting married in March, and that shit gets expensive. And so because of that, I am pulling a little bit of profit off the table. But I'm leaving most of it, like 80% of my portfolio. I'm just going to leave most of it alone and just kind of see what happens. If we get a big pullback, fantastic. Great. I might just buy a little bit more. I might just throw some of my initial investment back in just for the jokes, just kind of see what happens. But at the end of the day, yeah, we might fall off a cliff at some given point. So just if you're feeling euphoric to the fact that like you want to go like long on leverage on Solana right now, I don't think that's a good idea. I know I could be wrong. I know we're in a bull market. It might just keep going up and it might work, but it's risky. So Solana's in a risky spot right now in the grand scheme of things. Long term, though, don't even remotely care, quite frankly. I think where we're at with Solana is great. I think it's continuing that big move that we've been talking about. And whenever you really look at Solana, right, I've told you all, once we clear that bad boy up there and we have price discovery, it's not like $350 is going to be like Solana is going to hit $350 at some point if it's still alive. I believe that. So that's still $100 from here. And so because of that, I mean, I know in the smaller scheme of things, it feels all exciting, but dude, we could just be getting heated up. Do I think Solana's going to hit $2,000 a cycle? No, probably not. Like, no. I mean, because Solana supply is weird. It's 120 billion now. No, I mean, 1,000 is possible, right? Because that puts us around 400 billion something. But with the supply, somebody do the math for me. With the supply, guys, I'm going to go over Caspa. I'm going to go over Pepe. I'm going to go over all that. You don't need to spam it, okay? Somebody adjusted for the supply, please. What's the total market cap of Solana at $1,000? It got to be high. That has to be a lot. 480 billion, but that's adjusted to the current market cap based on the current supply. But I do believe there are some supply things with Solana where that fully diluted valuation would be a little bit higher. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But is it possible? Yes, it's possible. Like if we see the altcoin market hit $4 trillion, Solana owning a tenth of that makes sense because right now it's at about a tenth of the total market. Yeah, it's about a tenth. So sure, it's possible. Don't bet on it though. Like it's hard for me to say that. But guys, also like I was buying Solana at $10, $11. So trying to imagine it at 1,000 is just hard. It's kind of hard for me even as a Solana bull. So yeah, we're gonna move on here in a second. One part, shout out to you trading up, you the man, or you the person. Let's just say that. How much did you lose on SafeMoon in 2021? At the peak, I had about $70,000 worth of SafeMoon. I didn't sell any of it. So that's about how much I lost. For fuck's sake. I took a big L though. We're gonna move on here in a second. I want to answer some questions from the chat. But yeah, I took a big L on SafeMoon in 2021. I lost about 70K roughly. Ooh, that sucks. That would have been nice. But what can you do? What can you do? You know, we live and we learn. Yep, shout out. Hey, everybody, I will let you know if you do spam the same messages over and over again, the moderators are going to start muting you. So just don't do that. I want everybody to be able to talk, but people need to be able to read the chat. Okay. Let's answer a couple of questions and then we're going to move on to next up. We got what we have here. Sui. We got Sui next. Then we're going to go over Shib. Then we're going to go over Pepe. That's roughly the order what we're going to do. But let's answer a couple questions. Shout out to you guys. Hey, if you are new here, smash that like button. 6 or 7 videos every single day on some of your favorite altcoins, such as XRP, Shib, Pepe, Solana, Sui, much more. So if you do enjoy that type of content, mostly technical analysis based, feel free to subscribe. I will be covering some more meme coins and microcaps very soon. We're just not in that phase of the market yet, so I'm not talking about them. Well, yeah, subscribe if you're new. If you like it, smash that like button. More people will see the video. Let's get into it. Okay. You're the best channel out. That actually means a lot. I appreciate that a ton. Thank you so much. All right, XLM, Sui, dogs. Next up, yes, indeed. Hopefully we hit guys. Hey, also crazy news. We hit 100,000 subscribers on Tuesday. We're 101,500 subscribers now. It's like 1,500 subscribers since then. So all of you who are new here, welcome. I hope I don't, do anything that you don't like. Welcome in, not jokes. But yeah, welcome in, guys, everybody. Thank you guys so much for, being here and coming out. Let's see here. Please point again to the signal that tells you that momentum is slowing. Yeah, I got you. Hold on, give me a sec. The signal I am referring to is if you go to Solana, you go to your 4-hour charts, and you look at the RSI. The RSI is a relative strength index. And what you'll be able to see is that it's put in a high, a lower high, and currently a lower high, while at the same time, let's go here. Let me zoom in a bit. You can see here that Solana put in at the same time a high, a higher high, and now a higher high. You see how there's a difference? That's called bearish divergence. And bearish divergence, because the price and the RSI are diverging away from each other, is bad. It means that momentum is slowing down. I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much, homie. I appreciate that. Tyler, I want to buy some Solana for the first time. What coin should I buy it now or wait for a dip? Just slowly start averaging in is what I would do. Just slowly work your way in. You don't have to buy all or nothing. It's not black and white. It can be great. Just buy a little bit, and if it goes up, hey, good. You're already in profit. If it goes down, buy a little more. That's what I would do. How much are you up since 2021? I don't know the exact number because I invested a lot throughout 2022 and 2023. My portfolio is about 10 times the size that it was in 2021, but that is because I invested a lot during the bear market. So I honestly don't really know the exact thing. What I track it on doesn't tell me it includes my base costs. It's very annoying. But yeah. All righty. All right, so I got you. Thanks a lot. Got you, homie. All right, I think we're gonna get going here. Yeah, we're gonna go over Jasmine a bit. All right. Okay. All right, let's go. Wait, what did I just see? If Solana reaches 1K, it's a market cap that would be approximately 417.9 billion. Not bad. It's possible. It's possible. I did see somebody recently say that Solana was going to hit $4,000 a cycle. I'm not going to dive into why that's not going to happen, but it won't. I'm just telling you now it's not going to. Okay, let's move on. Sorry. I just I like hanging out with the homies. All right, XRP up next. Did I say XRP? Yeah, because XRP is going to be quick and easy. Okay. XRP, very, very simple, guys. Very simple of what I want you to watch out for over the next 24 hours. We're still in the bullish pennant. On the 4-hour time frames, we're still in the bullish pennant. What you want to look for XRP is whether it's going to break to the upside or not. If it breaks to the upside, it will be the final step, or it will be then entering into the final step of getting the big breakout we've been looking for. If it breaks to the downside, expect it to come back down towards $1. Okay, so it's very simple. I do think it's more likely that we will see XRP's price break upwards, probably about a 50-60% chance. The only thing that does worry me is the fact that it's getting a ton of wicks. So wick. All these little wicks tell me that the bears are stepping in heavy and the bulls just don't have that momentum that they need to break out. So I'm a little bit I'm getting a little bit concerned now with XRP with this. About 4 hours ago I wasn't, but this red candle is a little bit concerning. Okay, so just watch it closely and be careful with this. But I think it's still more likely it'll break to the upside, but we just need to kind of see that happen now. If it does, again, the next step from there, the very last piece of the puzzle, I guess, for XRP is breaking $1.32. If it breaks $1.32, it has now cleared its macro Fibonacci zone, the macro 618 to 786 zone. It is fully executed on this inverse, or not this inverse hand shoulder, sorry, but this cup and handle pattern right here. And it now opens the door for a long-term macro move up towards $3.35, I think. It could go further than that, but the general first big price target I would have is $3.35. That door does not open until XRP can break $1.32. So step one that we're looking for right now, break out of the pennant. Step two, which is this. Okay, this is a pennant. Step one, break out of this. Step two, break 132. Once we can do that, then I'll get super bullish. Until then, I'm just waiting. Okay, I'm just kind of in a wait type of situation. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so that's where I'm at with XRP. Very sweet, very simple. Let's go into SUI. Also, guys, stop roasting me for saying SUI. I know it's SUI, but guys, saying SUI is so annoying. You guys know it is. Like, imagine having a conversation and you got to say SUI and then keep talking. No one wants to do that. So SUI. Anyway, so let's see what is going on here. So we actually have a very interesting thing happening for SUI right now. Okay, we have a very interesting thing happening for SUI right now. So what let me give you some context. Okay, let me give you some context of what is going on so you understand it. Okay, so what we've seen from SUI is the fact that its price has fully extended to that 1.272 fib extension. Okay, so what you can see here is that SUI had a swing high down to a swing low. We came up, we broke the 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone. We broke above it, we came back, we back tested it, flipped this resistance point into some support. Using that support, we surpassed that previous high right there and then pushed up to that 1.272 Fibonacci extension zone. Now remember, if you don't know what the Fibonacci's are, it's quite simply just a tool that gives you a prediction of where the price can go and where it might run into some resistance. Again, I cover all of that over the Patreon in the beginner's course, which is $5 a month. Now, what we can see here is that as SUI's price did push up towards here, it actually went a little bit past it. We saw it go a little bit past it, and it surpassed that zone, which was around $3.35, pushing up towards roughly $3.94 towards $4. After making the move to $4, which is a psychological level, very strong psychological level, SUI's price is now doing what's called a back test. Oh, goodness, look at the chat. So it's doing something called a back test. A back test just happens whenever a crypto has a resistance zone, breaks above that resistance zone, and comes back down and tries to turn that resistance into some support. Because oftentimes, if it can successfully establish support, it'll then try to break upwards. Think back to what we did back here, like I just explained to you. SUI's price broke this resistance zone, came above it, came back down to it, and back tested it, flipped it into support, and used it to go upwards. That's what SUI's price is trying to do right now. It's trying to back test that $3.35 zone and use this as support to push upwards past $4. That's what it wants to do. And so where we are right now is we need to try to determine if that is successful or not. Currently speaking, it is doing a good job. We can see that it got a good wick down here. It's building up some of this 4-hour, support. We had 4 hours just consecutively where we went sideways, 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 holding up some support there. So it is doing a good job. So at this given point, what we need to be on the lookout for SUI is whether or not its price can start to make that move realistically back up to 380. We're stuck in the middle of a range between $3.30 and $4. And trying to buy in this little range for SUI probably just isn't a good idea, because it's a 50-50. There is really just no way of knowing if it's going to go down or if it's going to go up. And so knowing that right now we have no clarity there, not knowing if it will go down or will go up, I'm just going to sit back, wait, and watch. If we see SUI's price pull below, of course, 330, we have all of this support down here, I will start probably buying. If its price pushes to the upside and surpasses this, it wouldn't shock me if we see SUI's price try to push up towards, $4.37. I think that makes a ton of sense. That's a beautiful breakout of, another 10% upwards. And that starts opening the door to start trying to pursue our ultimate goal right now, which is $6 to begin with. I think it'll go further than that over the long term, but the goal right now for me is $6. And so this could be the next step to getting there. But it really just comes down to whether or not it holds some support on top of this major point of resistance and then uses it to continue upward. So for me with SUI, I'm in a hold situation. I'm not buying, I'm not selling, I'm just watching. Do we hold some support here, flip that resistance into support and use it to go upwards? Or do we lose some support and then we start working our way back down, likely to the mid $2 levels, right? $2.40, $2.50, $2.60. So I will continue to, maybe not that low. They could also just come back towards $3 at this liquidity zone. But I will let you guys know. So right now, I will really just sit back, wait, and watch and see how this goes in this little range before I make my next move. I post SUI videos every single day on the main channel, so I will be able to update you on that very fast as it does play out. I will tell you, The longer right now that Sui's price does this, even if it takes a week, the better, because the more liquidity we get in here. Remember, the more chop, the more liquidity. The more liquidity, the better, because once we go up, we have something to help us if we start coming back down. So don't worry about it going sideways. Not something to fear or like be scared about. It's totally fine, in my opinion. Okay. On to the next. Let's go into shit. Let's see what this thing is doing. Not shit. I'm joking. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Harlem, I need you to be a little more patient. So let's talk about SHIB. So looking at Shiba Inu, what is this bad boy up to? Well, it did establish a new point of resistance, a new support zone, which is pretty good. Have you given up on XRP? No. We talked about XRP 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. Let's talk about XRP. So not XRP, sorry, Shiba Inu. So what I'm noticing is that Shiba Inu is also creating a range. Okay, and you're not going to really like what I'm about to say because it's going to sound a lot like what I just said for the last one we just talked about, Sui. But what's happening with Shiba Inu right now is that it's still just trying to build some support on top of this big old zone that we just had. Because you got to remember, guys, we saw Shiba Inu's price break out of this descending channel, right? It then, after breaking out of this descending channel, it created this inverse head and shoulders. Now, after breaking out of this inverse head and shoulders, it worked itself up to a previous point of resistance and got rejected. So what Shiba Inu is doing right now is it is simply trying to flip this big old zone of resistance into some support. And what it's trying to do is to use that support to then get up towards the breakout zone. The price target for Shiba Inu still remains between 3.7 and 4.8. That is still where I believe that Shiba Inu's price is going to be able to go up to. And if its price is capable of establishing some support right here, it might be sooner than later. It could be, we could see Shiba Inu's price pushing up here sometime within the next few weeks, especially if it can hold some support. This is a major zone of resistance that has now been flipped into some support. And if this support holds, making another wave to the upside is very possible. Look what happened. I mean, if I get rid of everything real quick, it's exactly what happened right here. Look at this. Hold on one second. So look at this. Shiba Inu had this resistance point right here, broke above it, ran into another point of resistance before getting forced down. It then held up some support here and used that support to push past that high up to the next high. And now look what's happening right now. Shiba Inu's price had this resistance, broke above it, ran into another point of resistance back over here, then got rejected, came back down, and is trying to flip this resistance zone into some support and use that support to push back to the upside. That's what it wants to do. It's not complicated. Like, people make technical analysis out to be like rocket science. It's really not all that hard. Resistance, support, Fibonacci's, Bollinger Bands, RSI. That's all I use, basically. And you can kind of get the picture of what it's doing. And so where I am with Shiba Inu right now is I just kind of want to see how it continues to react here. As long as Shiba Inu stays above 229 to 20, not only do I think it's in a good spot, but it might be in a good buying zone. I think buying a little bit of Shiba Inu right here, maybe with the stop loss set towards these lower levels, just in case, wouldn't be a bad idea, because I do think there's a decent chance that it does hold support and tries to push back up towards that 2.9 or that 3 level. I think that's very, very possible. We have some fantastic resistance here, a lot of liquidity, and realistically, it's in a good spot. Now, would I be buying a lot right now? No, probably not. But I would be doing a little bit, maybe, right? A little accumulation here, maybe a little bit more if it goes lower, more if it goes lower, way more if it goes lower than these 3 lines, and slowly accumulate, because I think, again, there's a very good chance that SHIB is going to try, if it does continue like this, to try to build a higher low, right? So try to build a higher low and use that support to continue upwards. Now, there is no guarantee. There is still a chance that what we see from Shiba Inu is this, right? Let me give you the risk. The risk here is that Shiba Inu loses all this support, breaks through these 3 red lines to the bottom side, comes back down, and starts venturing back towards this area. If it is the case, it's not the end of the world. It's just going to delay things. And now all your purchases that you make in here are going to go down 20, 30%. So you just need to be able to stomach it. That's why I'm not doing big buys in here. I'm doing some buys, but not big buys, because I know I need to be able to stomach a 20 or 30% correction to the downside before it tries to work itself back upwards. So I think this is the worst case scenario for Shiba Inu. And the craziest thing is, this isn't even a bad case scenario. Like, this isn't even that bad of a worst case scenario. So for me, I'm doing a little bit of accumulation here. Shiba Inu is doing a fantastic job at building some support, trying to flip this resistance zone into support. And if it can continue to be successful, I do foresee it trying to continue this move back up to 37. So I am doing some small accumulation here. I like what I'm seeing. That's my update on SHIB. All righty. We're going into Pepe next, baby. All right. Let me answer a few questions in the chat. Let me know if you have any questions down below. While you are answering those questions, don't forget, if you do want to check out some extra content from me for $5 a month, you can get some beginners courses, daily technical analysis, daily fundamental analysis, my thoughts, insights, sometimes what I'm buying and selling, and more. $5 a month down below in the Patreon. And if you do want to trade some of these different cryptos yourself, you can check out Margex down below. They are going to give you up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards if you do sign up specifically with my link or use code Tyler at sign up. Sorry for the advertisements, guys, but you got to keep the lights on around the house. So here we go. Here we go. Let me know if you have any questions, and we will go into Pepe. Then we'll do some Doge. We'll do some Bonk. Maybe we'll do some Cardano. We're going to freaking do it. I'm probably going to speed up a little bit here because we're at an hour. Yeah. Are you still using that Crypto Assist? Yeah, I still have Trade Assist. Crypto Assist, I think you're talking about Trade Assist. I still use Trade Assist. It's a little bit less impactful during euphoric moments in the market. I use Trade Assist mostly for finding buy zones and macro pullbacks. Like when the market pulls back heavy, I use Trade Assist to try to find those buy zones. So I still do use it. Not a ton. Bull markets indicators don't work as well. But I still do use it. Yes. Just make sure, I heard my phone ringing like crazy earlier. Make sure everybody is okay. All right, we're all good. All right. Videos are going good. All right, I think we're in a good spot. I did just have a video. I had a video release a little bit ago on XRP, so feel free to go check that out if you'd like. All right, let's go. Pepe. Here we go. Let's see what's going on with Pepe. So Pepe's price did just break out, which is beautiful. And we did make a video on this earlier, so if you want some extra videos or content on that, go check it out. But let's go down to the 4-hour charts. So Pepe's price was creating a descending structure. Okay, Pepe's price was creating this descending structure just like this. And what I told you all was that if Pepe's price was able to hold support in this red box, that we would try to get a breakout above resistance and then use this breakout to start trying to make a move upwards. So what I said was, look, watch the red box closely. If we hold it, we're going to try to go for the breakout. If we lose it, we're probably going to see Pepe come back towards this 1.5 level down here. So hopefully we don't lose it. And we didn't lose it. And now that we've, of course, seen Pepe's price break out, let me kind of update you on what to be on the lookout for now and what some of the next goals and steps are. Okay. So the next couple goals and steps for Pepe at this given point are first and foremost for its price to by no means come back down below this red box. This red box currently, the bottom of it is around 18098. So let's call it the 181 level. Okay. 1 second. Yes, I'm going to be posting more meme coin content pretty soon, just not right now. So yes, what we don't want to see, no matter what happens right now, is Pepe's price simply does not come back down below this level down here. You know what? We're going to go down a little bit lower. Let's call it the 1.8 level, just to make it easy. And the reason why I say that is because at this given point, now that we have seen Pepe's price break to the upside, if we can maintain this breakout and maybe find a higher low of support, we could see Pepe's price try to go for the fib extension. If we see Pepe's price go for the fib extension, we're going to be looking at a Pepe that pushes up towards, 2.8 or 3.3, which could be a move of anywhere from, 35 to another 59, 60% to the upside. So it is very possible that does happen, especially now that we've gotten the breakout of this descending structure. But what we have to see is that we don't set the lower low. If Pepe's price comes back down and sets the lower low, we invalidate the breakout of this descending channel. We create a bigger descending channel. It's going to take longer for a real breakout to happen. And now that's pushing us likely into the end of the year. So if you want to see Pepe's price breaking to the upside this year, we need to see this bad boy maintaining support on top of the red box. That's number one. The second thing that I want to see from Pepe's price at this given point now is a daily close above this 1299 level. What you can see here is that on the 4-hour candle, its price did get back above this, but it really, it wasn't able to maintain it. And the reason why it's so important that Pepe's price is capable of holding above this zone right here, that 21299 level, is because when you break out of a descending structure, what you need to see is your price clear the most recent time that you touched the structure. Now, technically speaking, Pepe's price did do that. Technically speaking, Pepe is now setting a higher high from this one, but this all looks like just one big move to me personally. This all feels like one big move. So I'm going to give a little extra insurance, and I'm going to go ahead and say that I want to see Pepe's price break 21299. If we can see on the 4-hour charts that it breaks 21299, we're actually in a very good spot. And I think that Pepe should then be on track to confirm some sort of upwards move to start trying to push him towards some of these Fibonacci levels. But until his price is capable of breaking 21299, we are at the risk of losing this red box, and none of that up there even matters. So I'm not even going to talk about what happens after that. All I need you to watch out for over the next 24 hours is whether or not Pepe's price can break this level or not. If it gets rejected, we might come back down, and who Who knows? Maybe we double bottom. Maybe we put in some sort of inverse head and shoulders. Maybe we do all those things. That's fantastic. Maybe it comes back down right here. We push back up and then we break out. Maybe we double bottom, then we break out. It doesn't matter, but all I need to see is its price not lose this red box. So until I know whether or not it's going to break this red box or break this red line first, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to watch. Buying a little bit of Pepe right now isn't a terrible idea. We had this descending structure. We broke out of it. It might go upwards. So if knowing it might go upwards, not a bad time to buy. But I wouldn't be doing a bunch of buying because, again, that red box is scaring me a little bit, and I want to see what happens first. So we're in a range between 21299 and 180. Whatever we break out of first is very likely the direction that we're going to continue in. So once we get that breakout, I'll let you know, and I'll tell you exactly what I'm doing. Somebody said Sol's at 258. No shit. Sol just doesn't give a shit, bro. Like, have you got, like... You know what, guys? This is a weird thing to do on stream, given I'm your residential Solana bull. But I am going to take a little bit of profit off Sol real quick. This is going to be 0.4% of my entire Solana bag. And I'm not giving a percent. I'm zero, not even 1% of my entire Solana position. On a day like this, I like to just pull a little profits. Okay, so half of 1% is what I'm about to close down. And the reason being is just it's running. It's just running. And again, I have closed about this is going to be about 9.5% of my entire Solana bag, because I am about up 6x ish. If my average cost, I haven't done the math in a minute, but my average cost is $31, right? 251 now, 6, 12, 18. So it has to be a little bit higher. It has to be a little bit higher than that. 257 divided by 31. So it's about an 8x. Yeah, it's close to an 8x. It's hard to gauge because I've almost got my initial out, so I can't remember where I'm at. I'm somewhere around there. And then also it's not a full 8x because I sold some of it less than 250. You get the point. But yeah, I want to pull a little bit of profit because I want to get my full initial out. I know how much my full initial investment was. It was 6 figures. I'd like to get my 6 figures back. So yeah. But I'm just leaving the rest. And so yes. So let me do that real quick. And guys, remember, I know this might seem bearish. It's not a bad thing. If you want to take a little bit of profits, take a little bit of profits. It's not like you're cheating on your wife by taking profits. You're making money. It's a good thing. It's what you're supposed to do in this crypto world. Just take a little profits, guys. It's not a big deal. And if you see anybody in like comment section saying like, oh, you shouldn't sell, it's going to $600, they don't know what they're talking about. Anyone with a brain knows taking profits is a good thing. Okay, there we go. Done deal. All right, cool. Took a little profits there. Took a little bit of profits there. All righty. So let's see here. What was I about to go over next? We went over Pepe. What y'all want to see next? Did we do SHIB? Yeah, we did SHIB. We did Pepe. Shall we do Doge? Is still not doing anything. To give you a quick update on Doge. Doge is in a macro structure. Okay. Doge is in this big old pennant right here. Until Doge breaks out of this pennant, I'm not doing anything. So I'll update you once Doge finally moves. I'm not buying in here, and I'm also not selling. I took a little bit of profit off Doge around this second green candle, but not much. I'm really just leaving Doge alone. I think Doge is going to be the yearly play for me. So I'm just going to leave it alone. Bonk. Okay, let's do Bonk. Okay. And then, yeah, we can do Caspa in a little bit. What's Bonk up to? Oh, look at this. This is interesting. That's interesting. Getting my little technical juices flowing. That sounded weird. Okay. All right. Okay, so this is interesting. So look what Bonk's up to, guys. This is pretty cool. I wonder if it's going to succeed. So, okay, let me give you a little bit of context on Bonk. Yo, Mirage, what up, dude? No way. Are you the OG Mirage? No way. Okay. Okay. So what up, homie? Shout out to you, bro. Okay, so looking at Bonk here. What we're looking at with Bonk is actually something very important. So to give you a little bit of context, Bonk put in this high right here, right around March of 2024, before coming back down and putting in this little intra bull market low. Okay, so we saw the swing high, swing low. We draw on our Fibonacci's. Our Fibonacci retracement level was right between this 3.6 and this 2.8 level right here. I told you all, If Bonk's price is capable of breaking this level, it opens up the door not only to hitting a new all-time high, but also towards this 7092 level. I said that it's, of course, might not be an easy ride. It might not be a fast ride. It might not even be a fun ride. But over time, the door should be open for Bonk to push up to that 70 level. And what we can see here is Bonk's price has now broken that high and got damn close to that 1.272 fib extension level, right around the 7 level. So where we are right now is I don't think that was a full extension. I think there's a chance that Bonk could still go a little bit higher before the macro pullback, but you will be able to know before that happens. And let me explain how. So if you go down to your 4-hour charts, what you can see is that Bonk is trying to make a decision right now. The decision that Bonk is trying to make is whether or not it's going to be able to hold some support on top of this 4796 to 4638 level, this little zone of support. And it makes a ton of sense. Why? Well, Bonk is trying to build support on top of this previous all-time high. It wants to turn that all-time high and this midterm macro high right here. It wants to turn this resistance into some support. That's its goal right now. And so when you zoom into your 4-hour charts, you can see that quite clearly. We had that little point of resistance there, and we had those big points of resistance back there, and we're trying to use those resistance points as support right here. If Bonk is successful at holding some support, what it's going to look like is its price being able to surpass this 618786 zone on the shorter time frames around 5872. If Bonk's price pushes up past 5872, this little zone right here, there's a very good chance that it has successfully held some support. It has successfully held this support. It has then used this support to surpass the 618786 level, and it might make that run. Not guaranteed. Guys, we're at the top of a move. So at any given point, we might crash. I hope you understand that. But it might run. And so what I'm looking for right now, if I'm even going to think about Bonk going up, if I'm even going to think about its price pushing up to the 7 level, I won't think about it until we break this point right here at 5851. If Bonk breaks 5851, I'm going to get more optimistic in the short term. Like, oh, snap. Bonk's price might push up to that 1.272 Fibonacci extension. And remember, if we hit that one, it opens up the door for the next one, which is at that 11476 level, which is another move of 60%. So there is a lot of optimism. There is still the opportunity for Bonk to be able to reach these higher up levels. But while we are in a back test right now, and while Bonk is trying to decide if we're going to hold this as support or not, I wouldn't be getting too crazy optimistic. I just need to see it happen. Because one thing I am looking very closely at, and I'm sure you guys who've been around see it, there is the possibility of this. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So if Bonk, like where we are with Bonk right now is that if it loses support, it very easily could pull back 25% back to the red box. Very easily, which is around the 3.5 level. I'm telling you, very easily could do that. So knowing that we have that support below us, knowing that we might lose that support, and knowing also that even if we go up a little bit, we still might pull back down and running to this. Oh, no, that can't happen. Hold on one second. Very frustrating. Hey, if I have any moderators in the chat, please handle this. Give me 1 second. So what's happening right now? So look, we're going to go on a quick little break for a second. I need to go ban this word from my comment section because that is absolutely ridiculous. We're getting absolutely botted right now. So what's happening is that people just joined in and if you're watching this live, you'll see it. But if you're not watching it live, you'll have no idea what's going on. They're spamming the live stream. And it's so very frustrating. Okay. Blocked words. What is that? What are they saying? Melstroy. Very frustrating, guys. Mel, this is going to take me like a minute or two, so bear with me. If you guys leave, I get it. Sorry about this. Very, very annoying. I'm trying to see the exact way that they're spelling it. They spell it a couple different ways. So aggravating. This is one of the things about being on YouTube that just gets so frustrating. All right, let me save that. Hopefully that slows it down a bit. Please give me 1 second. I promise I'll get this sorted out. Melstroy_ETH. And I just don't understand what people think. Like, do you think people would actually go buy that bullshit? Like, God, dude. Melstroy_ETH. Okay, let me know. I think I might have fixed it. God, I hate when they interrupt the stream because you guys have shit to do. You know what I mean? Oh, it's so frustrating. Anyway, okay, I'm good though. I'm fine. I'm fine. All right, we're good. I think I blocked it. I think I blocked it. Okay. So sorry about that again. So yeah, when I'm looking at Bonk, I just feel like there's a risk right now. The risk is that we lose some support right here and we head back towards that 3.5 level. The only way to invalidate this or even this is by Bonk's price being able to break that 5.868 level up here. So until we break 5.868, I would maybe pull back a bit, just pull it back a little bit, maybe like de-risk a little bit, maybe even consider taking some profits. I was up about 2x, so I took a little bit of profits until then. If we break out of this, just like Solana did, right? If it can pull a Solana, amazing. Amazing. Because we invalidate this structure and now we're in a good spot. But until that happens, I have to say, be a little careful right now. Okay, please be a little bit careful. If I'm looking at this in the long term, let's see. If I'm looking at this in the long run, I still do believe that off of just this move alone, Bonk easily can still hit this 11,455 level. That's not my top of the bull market guess, but I still do believe, Bonk pushing another 150, 125% from here makes a ton of sense. Not straight up. That's not what I mean. I don't mean that it's just going to do this, but I do believe, like if we maybe do get a bit of a pullback and stuff, like I think it's working itself up here makes a ton of sense. So in the long term, midterm, hey, ASDF, you're going to get muted. Just relax. I do believe we're going to be able to work ourselves up here. But again, in the short term, things might get a little bit weird, right? So be careful in the short term right now while we are back testing and seeing if we're going to hold support or not. That's going to make the world of difference. So that's Bonk for you. All right. History C. Shout out to you, champ. Poland sounds sick. Let's see. Does this not look similar to Sol? Yes, exactly the same. David Sunley, amazing catch, bro. Amazing catch. If Bonk can invalidate this head and shoulders, we might gigasend. But you just need to see it happen, right? It's really just one of those wait and see what happens. But exactly. Great catch. All righty. Caspa, let's do it. Where are we at? Where's Caspa? There we go. Alrighty, what we got going on here, Caspa. So Caspa's price coming back up. I can kind of spot this trend, I believe. Let's see. Boom. I'm trying to connect the dots here. Bam. Then we got bam. Then we got this one. Okay. So Caspa got that ascending level of support. Where's our sorry, let me just gather my thoughts here real quick on Caspa. We got that ascending level of support. Where's the daily's 20 simple moving average? A little bit lower there. On a back test right there. Okay. All right. Pretty simple stuff. Okay. So what we're seeing from Caspa right now, okay, is actually pretty cool. So Caspa is in a back test as well. It's a pretty common thing. It's kind of weird how we're seeing so much of these back tests right now. But what is happening is Caspa is doing what's called a back test. Now, a back test, quite simply, again, as I mentioned earlier, is when a crypto breaks out of a point of resistance and it goes back down to try to test it again. So say, for example, you have a line of resistance here. Caspa's price breaks above it. And then it comes back down to try to flip this previous point of resistance into support. This is called a back test, okay? And what Caspa's price is doing right now is it's back testing this macro descending line or the descending resistance point that we had prior. So what we can see here is we had resistance points 1, 2, 3, and then we had 4 realistically. And what happened is that shooters shoot, and I love to see it. But what we can see here is that Caspa's price did pull back a little bit after we lost it. So what happened previously was that Caspa's price tried to break out of this descending structure, but it failed. It came back down, it flipped this point of resistance support, used that to break to the upside, and now it's broken out again. So Caspa right now has run into this midterm 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone and is back testing. If Caspa's price successfully back tests, I do think that it's actually going to try to come up and clear that 18-cent level again. It wouldn't shock me if it tries to work itself up, break this 18 level, and then it's open season, guys. It's open season to 25.5 cents. Maybe even further. I mean, maybe we do see Caspa push towards that 33-cent level. I think it's very possible. It all really just comes down to whether or not it can clear this 618 to 786 zone or not. And so where I am right now is I want to see at what given point does Caspa try to make a higher low. I think what's going to happen here from a grand scheme of things, let's just draw. Okay, how do I want to do this? Let me think. Let's do it like this. If I'm going to make it easy to explain. So let's just draw in this red box, okay? This is your 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone. What I'm trying to figure out for Caspa is at what point is it going to come back, build a higher low, and then use that higher low to break this zone. That's what I think is going to happen. I think Caspa's price at some point is going to come down, back test, find support, go up, clear the 18-cent level, and open up the door to 25 cents. I just don't know when this support's going to be held. What I do know is where it could be held at. So my game plan right now is I'm just going to accumulate a little bit of Caspa on each one of these key levels of support. Okay. So what we can see is I'm going to lay out the support zones that I'm going to just do a little bit of buying on Caspa. And the reason I'm doing some buying is because, again, I think there's a chance that Caspa's price is going to find support and go up. So if it's going to find support and go up, I'm willing to take the risk of buying a little bit and just seeing if I'm right. If I'm wrong, it's not a big deal. These are not big purchases. I don't really ever do big purchases during bull markets. Just small little purchases, right? Just getting in there, just still sticking in there, right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first and foremost start off where we are now. I do think it's a decent time. I think doing a little bit of a purchase here on Caspa makes sense. If I do bring it back a little bit to my previous chart, I think that, back testing this previous point of resistance, trying to flip this into support, decent time to buy. If we lose this and we continue lower, I would expect the price to come back towards 12.2 cents. And then, of course, a little bit in between there and there, we can see this key point of resistance right here, which I find interesting. And I think that there's a chance we find some support there. So what we have are two main points of support. Where are my price labels? Oh, I clicked the wrong one. There we go. At where we are right now, which is roughly 14.5 cents, 13.7 cents, and then a little bit lower at 12.1 cents. These are the three levels where I would be doing a little bit of purchasing on some Caspa. Probably bigger purchasers the lower that we go. So the lower Caspa's price go, the bigger the purchases that I would probably do. And one thing that I am recognizing now that we are doing this is that if Caspa's price does this and it comes back down and tries to build that support, it will have then built the cup and handle, or I guess technically you could call this some type of wonky baby arm left, inverse head and shoulders, right? There is a chance for the inverse head and shoulders. So one way or another, as long as Caspa's price doesn't, for some weird reason, come back below 10 cents, I think we're going to build the higher low, use that support, and work our way back up here. So I'm going to be buying on those key support levels. So that's my game plan. That's my strategy. And if I am right, we're very likely to see Caspa's price try to push up towards 25 to 30 cents into the long run. So that's the game plan with Caspa right now. Let me know your thoughts down below and what you're doing, but that's my strategy at the moment. All righty. Hey, Tyler, I'm already in your community, and I would like to ask you a question regarding Sui. I'm almost all in Sui. What is your price prediction between minimum and maximum? I think seeing Sui's price hit $6 makes a lot of sense. I think seeing Sui's price hit $20 is also possible, but that's very difficult. I think more realistically, in a crazy bullish scenario, seeing Sui's price, pushing $10, $11, $12, $13 is, that's my conservative maximum, if that makes sense. Hey, what's up, Sophia? Well, I appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. Caspa needs Binance to move up. Tyler is the best. Appreciate everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We went over Pepe not too long ago, so go check that out. Rewind a little bit if you want. Oh, what did I say? I can't remember what I said. Oh, okay. I know what I said. Never mind. We're going to leave that where it's at, Mirage. Relax. Okay, thoughts on Chainlink. And Bonk. We went over Bonk. We went over Pepe Champ. We went over all those. Just rewind a little bit. Solana. We went over Solana already. Let's see. What's Solana at right now? Pushing, eh? 258. My word. My word. I'm going to sell all my Solana. I'm joking. Okay, let's go into the next one. Let's do render. Somebody said render, I think. Oh, let's do render is going to actually be pretty easy. Let me go over render, then I'll go over ADA. Tars AI. Tars AI is a small Solana-backed AI company that is good. Let's just leave that there. Okay, render, very simple, guys. Very, very, very simple. What happened with render, its price had this, little consolidationary moment. It broke up. It flipped this point of resistance into a little temporary point of support. It's trying to use that tiny little point of support to break above this zone. The only thing that you should be focusing on right now with render is whether or not it breaks this resistance or not. If it breaks resistance, the door opens to the upside, and there's actually not much in between here and it pushing up, in my opinion, towards $9 or $10, which would be a good thing. But that's only if it breaks this resistance. So for render right now, draw on your trend line and just watch it like a hawk. If we get rejected, we could head back as low as $5.50. If we do break it, we're looking very good. I will be posting a YouTube video if we break it and hold above it. Like the moment we do that, I will post a vid. So just stay tuned for that. But all that matters right now is what's happening with this descending structure. That's all that matters, quite frankly. Let's see. He said he's selling I sold 0.5% of my Solana bag like 10 minutes ago. Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. I'm joking. My bad. You got to watch my face because sometimes I say crazy shit and just look at you weird. Okay. You think it still has legs? I haven't looked at that one. I need to look at it. All right, let's go into ADA Cardano. 310 of you guys smash that like button. I have no idea what the likes are at. I'm not going to check it because I don't want to get, a little bit egotistical here. But smash that like button if you do enjoy the content. If you are new here, I will remind you, guys, I'm sorry for doing this over and over again, but people keep joining in and leaving. You get it. You know what I got to do, okay? If you want extra content from me, $5 a month, you can join my private community. You get beginners courses. You get daily technical analysis, daily fundamental analysis, my thoughts on a consistent basis about a bunch of different cryptos. Feel free to check that out for only $5 a month again, or $1 a month just gets you in the community. You can talk to me and other community members. And don't forget, if you do want to trade a little crypto yourself on up to 100x leverage, you can use that MargeX link down below, and you will get up to $10,000 in bonuses and rewards. Now, looking at ADA Cardano. Let's see. Cardano ADA. I know it's Cardano ADA, but I say ADA Cardano because I like how it sounds. So ADA actually just made a very, very, very interesting move. And what it did, guys, was that it broke its yearly high. So it seems like no one really recognized it, but ADA for a second there broke its yearly high, which is very cool. But, honestly, with ADA, guys, I don't really care what's happening in the short term because it's all about what's happening in the long term. You guys know I've been tracking this thing like a hawk. And what I'm noticing is this big old cup and handle pattern for ADA Cardano that's giving it a breakout target all the way back up to $3, baby. If ADA Cardano's price Cardano ADA can successfully break 82 cents and stay above 82 cents, the door opens up for this macro move over the long term, right? It will not be immediate, but over the long term for ADA's price to push back up towards $3, which from here is still gains of 200 to 300%. And so for me right now, what happens in the short term, don't really care at all. It's all about the long term. And it might take time. This isn't going to be an easy level to just clear. It wicked above it for a second, but outside of that, it might just take some time because this is such an important level. So just watch it closely. But until we break 82 cents, I don't care what happens. Once we break 82 cents and we stay above it, then I'll get more bullish. But until then, don't care. Okay, that's kind of where I'm at, truthfully. Hey, Tyler, can I download the videos on YouTube and watch them offline if I subscribe to the $4.99? That's a good point. Maybe what I'll do. No, you couldn't right now because the video in the beginner's course is it's a YouTube link. It's just unlisted for only people on the Patreon to access it. What I could do is download that video and then post the downloaded version of the video in the Patreon for people who want to watch it online. Let me know if that'd be helpful. I could do that. Shout out to you, Mackie. I heard it made the same pattern that it made at the beginning of the last alt season. Let me see. Really? Did I forget that? Because I was covering ADA at the beginning of the last alt season. Let's see. Let's see. No, kind of. Not really. I see it. Like, I do see it. It's just not as clearly defined. Like, the cup line isn't as clearly defined. This was more of just a macro resistance flip. This was like descending channel, breakout, back test resistance, turn resistance to support, Fibonacci extension there, bam, to the upside. That was more of what that was. This is literally a textbook cup and handle pattern. This is almost as textbook as it gets. The only thing that would make it a little better is if this handle was a little bit shallower, like that. Are you familiar with Theta? I've heard about Theta, but I haven't looked into it a ton now. Do you use a hardware wallet? Yes, but I don't ever tell people which ones that I use because it freaks me out. But yes, just use the main ones. All right. You have some great ones out there. Just pick one of the big ones. Just trust me. Okay. Okay, let's look at we got to go over Brett real quick. I cannot remember Mac baby, shout out to you. Yes, we got to go over that. Okay, let's go over Brett. What was your question again? I got Brett this summer. I have about 70K worth, about 400. What is your prediction end of the year at the end of the bull cycle? So I don't really know what Brett's going to do at the end of the year, if I have to be super honest, but I can tell you what it's doing right now. So what Brett is trying to do right now is it's trying to build support on top of this 618 to 786 Fibonacci zone. If it successfully builds support on top of this zone, I do think it's going to start trying to work its way up and open up the door to continue higher. Now, considering the fact that Brett's price has broken this Fibonacci zone already, I'd be willing to say that the door is already open for a move to 26 to 40 cents, which would be beautiful from here. I mean, that's Brett pushing up 61% to breakout target number 1, 146% to breakout target number 2. So I would go ahead and say that not my grand end of the market prediction is that, but I would say getting up towards 40 cents makes a ton of sense to me. That's my conservative bullish estimate. So I still think there could be a solid 2-3x behind this thing to go. In the short term, it might pull back all the way back towards 10.5 cents to retest this on a macro sense. But I do think in the grand scheme of things, Brett pushing up here makes a ton of sense as long as the market stays remotely bullish like it is now. Okay, that's my thoughts. Is it annoying to post until he sees it? It depends on what you're posting, huh? Okay, an hour 29. What do you think? Okay, so I feel like we went over most of them. I saw one of you ask me for Jasmine. Let's go over that, and I think we're gonna wrap it up pretty soon. Just because I have a few more vids to make today, and the voice is starting to go now. Jasmine, nothing matters for Jasmine until it breaks 2.5 cents. Nothing, literally nothing. It won't go anywhere. It won't do anything until it breaks 2.5 cents. So just watch 2.5 cents. That's all that matters. Okay. All right. I'm going to answer some questions for about 10 minutes. So leave your questions down below. That is going to be the last one that we do look at on the charts for the day. We went over everything you guys have been asked for, basically. Caspa, ETH, Solana, Render, Jasmine, Sui, the rest. Bitcoin, Total 1, Total 2, Bitcoin Dominance. We went over all those. So let me know what you think down below. Ask me some questions. Don't forget. If you guys, it starts to feel like strep. Like whenever you start recording for like 8 hours, it starts to feel like you have strep throat. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget, you can check out the Patreon down below. I have an advanced tier opening into Patreon tomorrow. It's going to be about $17 a month, $16.99. There's going to be coaches who come in every single, probably one a week at least, but maybe once every 2 weeks or so, just to make sure it can be sustainable. They're going to teach different things, altcoins, meme coins, trading, TA, fundamental analysis. I'm going to be posting lessons on probably like 2 or 3 a month about certain things, maybe like the Fibonacci's, structure, candles, whatever. That's going to be available tomorrow. So the next tier up is going to be available tomorrow. We're going to be releasing it, but currently you can join for $5 a month and you get access to the beginner's guides, courses, cool stuff like that we are releasing. So check that out down below. Let's answer some questions. Not really. I have some Render. I have like the basic ones, but I have a little bit of FET, and I did buy a little bit of Near not too long ago on accident, and I was like, you know what? I'll just keep it. So yeah. Sound of Freedom, shout out to you. You've been around for so damn long. You're the GOAT. Do you hold any ETH at all? Yes, I hold roughly 11 ETH. I think it might be a little bit less than that because I did pull profits like 4 days ago. I did cover XRP earlier, yes. I stay away from leverage. Hey, I don't blame you. Hey, listen, I hope you all understand. I'm not trying to convince any of you to do leverage trading. Only leverage trade if you know what you're doing. That shit gets ugly fast, okay? Thanks for sharing your time and knowledge with us, Tyler. I'm an investment researcher and planning to do some with equities. You helped me give me information. What dang. Well, thank you. Well, thanks. I'm glad I can help. I appreciate that. If I have to invest $1,000, what's the best bit to buy? I can't really tell you that. Obviously, legally, I shouldn't tell you that. Also, just there's so many different factors. Start big with big cryptos. If you're new here, start with your major ones, your top 10, top 15, top 20. Get your feet wet, learn how everything works, and start working your way down to the smaller ones over time. That's what I can tell you, though. Oh my god! Hold on. Let me screenshot this real quick. One sec. Oh, that's awesome. Yo, Christopher, that wins comment of the day. Dude said, "Can you give me 2 Bitcoin to keep, not to borrow? I will not be giving it back." Hey, shooter's gonna shoot. No, I won't be doing that. But Christopher, that is an A for effort, champ. Oh my goodness. Everyone likes Turbo so much. It seems like a big one. I will eventually again be doing some I will be eventually doing some more meme coin content. I used to talk about microcaps a lot. It's just not microcap season, really. Like I invest in them here and there. I got QF not too long ago, but it's not microcap season. I'm just focused on the big ones. Everyone thinks my channel is just purely a technical analysis channel. It's actually not. I just talk about, when I talk about cryptos, I talk about how I invest into them. So major altcoins, I invest in them based on TA and a little bit of fundamental analysis. Microcaps, I invest in them almost purely off of fundamental analysis. So when we talk about microcaps, I do like almost no TA in those videos, but it's been so long since I've been focused on microcaps that like people think this is just a TA channel. It's kind of fun. Oh, all right. Is Gala looking at a recovery? I haven't checked that out. I'll go look it out pretty soon. I like Go Chronos, please. It seems like everybody's been hype on Crow recently. Maybe I'll give it a quick little look. Ski-doo. Oh, that's an interesting chart. Wow. Yeah. So look, just to give you a super simplified version of what I'm seeing with Crow. When you look at Crow, I still see the same exact thing Ada Cardano could be setting up. I see the cup and handle pattern right here, clear as day, very obviously, cup, handle. What you need to see from Crow is its price sustainably holding above 10 and it can't be 10. I don't think I have my glasses on right. Yeah, 18 cents. If Crow can sustainably hold above 18 cents, the breakout target for this cup and handle pattern does put it probably, if I had to guess, back up towards 70. Let's see. That's a little bit wonky. There we go. It has a breakout target of roughly, 60. Damn, that was a good guess. 68 cents. So I think that Crow could just be getting warmed up and heated up. This could be a very, very, very strong moment for it, especially if it does continue to break out. So, slowly DCing in now is not a bad idea. It might pull back a little bit more before making that move, but once it sustainably breaks 18 cents, it has a breakout target back up towards 70 cents. I talked about ETH about 20 minutes into the stream. If you want to go check that back out. Oh my goodness, guys. Oh, what a fun stream. All right. What other vids do we have today? What have I uploaded today? I have a Solana video coming out in about an hour. I have a Sui video coming out in about 3 hours. I have a Shiba Inu video coming out in about 5 hours. I think that'll be it for the day. So I got Solana, Shib, and what did I just say? Solana, Shib, and Sui. Yeah, Solana, Shib, and Sui all coming out over the next couple hours. So do check that out. But I do think that's going to be about it for the stream today, guys. I am starting to lose the voice, starting to hurt a little bit. So I'm going to go record that Solana video. That'll be out in about an hour. Don't forget, if you are new here and you do enjoy the content, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out my Patreon down below if you want extra information. Tomorrow, I'm going to be releasing that new tier for the Patreon, so check that out. I might limit that tier to maybe like 100 people or to 150 people, so I'll let you know. I just don't want it to get too crazy too fast, so I'll let you know. But of course, I hope you guys did enjoy. I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. I want to do 2 or 3 of these every single week, but I'm not going to for sure guarantee that I will, just because the market's crazy. Things are going on. I own an influencer relations agency, so sometimes things get busy there as well. But I do plan on doing these a couple times a week, so stay tuned for those. I post 6 or 7 videos every single day, so if you do find the content valuable and useful, please do, of course, go down and subscribe to the channel. Go check out some of the vids that we're going to post today and earlier. Check out those links down below if you are interested, and I will see you all very soon in the next stream, everybody. Peace out.